researcher Hannah Ritchie, around 1 in 7 people around the world suffer from one or more mental illnesses, meaning that roughly 1 billion people around the world suffer with mental illness. Psychology is a study of the mind and behavior, while clinical psychology specifically focuses on mental illness, abnormal behavior, and psychiatric disorders. Easily, I think we can all name somebody who was or is in our lives that has battled with mental illness. In attending college, I'm pursuing a major in psychology that I can use to combat the stigma, discrimination, and neglect surrounding mental illness. So first, I'm going to talk about why I came to Citrus, then I will talk about my major, and lastly, I will close after explaining how I plan on implementing my career. So starting off, I'm going to explain why I chose Citrus. Citrus College has not only become a stepping stone from high school to college, but from community college to hopefully a future university. Standing as a daughter of immigrant parents, there's nothing more I want to do than to make them proud. Neither of my parents really had the opportunity to go to college, so I'm here as much for me as I am for them.
Awesome.
My father being Peralta, said he motivated me to go to school because I'm very smart and I'll have a better life. And as a parent, he's always going to push me to go further. So hopefully one day I could give back to them for all the sacrifices they have made. And why I chose Citrus College specifically, it was really about financials. I was accepted into the University of Laverne with a very gracious scholarship and grant. However, the money it didn't cover was still too much, so I didn't want to put that burden on myself or my parents. So I decided to come to Citrus and save the money. So now that I've explained why I chose Citrus, I will talk about my major. Formerly being undecided and very anxious to choose a major because I didn't want to choose the wrong thing, I realized that there's only one thing that's ever caught my attention, and that was psychology. Growing up, I was like super shy. I really just like observed people, which sounds weird, but I liked it. And I've always been drawn to why people are the way that they are, or why we act or react the way that we do. So I took an AP psychology course my senior year of high school to see if this was something that I really did like.
Nice.
And to say the least, I fell in love with it. I couldn't imagine myself studying or working in anything else. And I think it's important that no matter what we do in life, that we love it. And I think that I found that. So now that I've discussed what major I'm pursuing, I will talk about how I plan on implementing my education. In moving forward with a career in psychology, I'm not sure exactly what I want to do yet. I've been thinking about psych nursing a lot, or perhaps clinical psychology, but I really want to help people. In our generation, it's really easy to see the taboo that surrounds mental illness. A lot of the time, people don't talk about how they feel, whether they are scared that it perceives them as weak, or they don't know how to properly express themselves, or maybe they don't have somebody they feel that they could express themselves to. And it's a lot easier for us to shut down or keep it to themselves, or have a mentality that things just are what they are. A big part of what I want to do is change that mental state so that we can begin to openly conversate about the traumas that we've been through. Because we're a lot less alone than we feel in this world. It would surprise you how many people feel or have felt things that you have, or even gone through similar experiences. And you really don't know that until you start opening up and conversating about them. And also, psychology is essential to understanding the minds of people. And in a generation that is ignorant towards the expression of emotion, it is essential that we protect people from emotional and physical damage by supplying them with the mental capacity to cope with the psychological hazards we may experience every day. So now that I've discussed how I plan to use my education to solve a problem in the world, let's wrap up this speech. So first I talked about why I chose to attend Citrus, then I talked about my major, and lastly I discussed how I plan on implementing my career to solve a problem. In going to school, I'm seeking after a degree in psychology to battle the shame, intolerance, and disregard encompassing mental illness. My hopes are to normalize the conversation around mental illness and how to cope with it, whether personally or through a loved one that may be suffering. Psychology may not impact the world, and according to my mother, Peralta, it can't. But you can impact one person at a time, and people can change the world.